Good evening. JMK Custom Works Live, episode 14. Thank you so much for tuning in. Pop, how we doing today?
All good here.
Excellent. Excellent.
Got a few people
we have.
Few people waiting.
Rayon, good to see you. Good to see you. Shane.
Thanks, Shane.
I like that. Thanks, buddy. Jacob. David. Hello. Hello.
Got Stu.
Smudge. Good to see you.
Smudge is here.
Thanks for coming.
Your mom's here. Hey,
Mom.
Shannon.
Hi, Mom. Love you.
Oh, how about that?
What's up, Coops? What's up, Abby? How the heck are you? Looks like you did pretty good for yourself at IshCon. Suka. Frankie. What up, dude?
Oh, what we got here?
Already with the booth.
Already.
JB. Let's see.
Bring it in.
Holy underwear!
Yeah! Thank you!
It is my privilege to extend a laurel and hearty handshake to our new members.
This one's for you.
Thank you very much.
Now, I know that's a member chat, but I don't have anything specifically for that just yet, and I still enjoy the new member video, so. Jerky boy.
Hey, Jerk.
What's up, sir?
Talib.
Sir? Talib. Good to see you. Good to see you. Jimmy.
Jimmy's here.
I was on the list, Jimmy. I was on the list because Dan is the man. For a lot of us. Absolutely. Well, we're going to do some work on the Dragonsky kit.
Good evening, Tristan. Or morning, or whatever you got going on there.
Good day.
No.
There it is. Smudge. You beautiful bastard.
Holy underwear!
Yeah! Thank you!
It is my privilege to extend a laurel and hearty handshake to our new members.
This one's for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And Skyfall's here.
Skyfall. Hello. Hello. Thank you for being here. 9:30 in the morning over down under.
Wow. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Brian King's here.
Brian. Hello, sir. Hello. Yes, we're going to do a little more work. Joe Fan, how you doing? Good to see you. God bless. We're going to do a little work on the Dragonsky kit. I had intended on getting the rest of the prep work done through the week, but this week kind of kicked my ass, and I didn't get any of that done. So we're going to have to finish that up, and then we'll do some color. Another ball dropped there. Somebody didn't clean out their airbrush because they're a fucking amateur.
Sorry about that, bud. I didn't know you were going to use it next.
Yeah. Well, as much as I'd like to blame somebody else, this is on my shoulder. So I got to do that real quick.
I felt as co-host, I should probably just take the blame.
No, it's not that kind of show.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm conditioned by my work life.
I understand that. I really do. I really do. Yeah, one of the
Talk talked about 3D printing. Did you talk about epoxy? What is your take on hand sculpting? Are they being replaced with 3D printing?
I do some hand sculpting, hair and mustaches and pouches, cuffs, things like that. I've done lots of that in the past. The thing is it's really shitty to replicate. So, Tony, what's up, brother? So
It's all about your plans for repetition, right?
yeah. If you're just doing one, it's not a big deal. Like you talked about doing the mustaches for like the Star Brigade stuff, and that's great. If it's just going on your shelf, no big deal. But if you're doing something for somebody, chances are, well, anymore I plan on replicating, even if I don't end up doing it. So now that 3D printing is accessible as it is, and I can usually talk to my dad and he can get something in process. As we did last night, I had something that he sculpted for me. So
Yeah, at some point you got to show them how the progress is going on that.
I will absolutely do that. Once I get Dragonsky, get some paint on him, we'll do a little work on the Vanguard, because I told Tony I was going to do some dry brushing, and I want to do that on the bumpers. So that'll be a good piece.
The Z Force Vanguard.
Yes, the Z Force Vanguard.
Z Force Vanguard.
It really is looking pretty awesome. I'm actually quite proud of it. And the further it gets on.
No problem, Dan. That's kind of the way we like to do things on both shows.
Yeah, it's kind of the whole premise for this one is doing the Q&A. So thank you for your question. I hope you got a.
Smudge wants to know what kind of airbrush you're running.
I use a Extreme Patriot 105. Dad got it for me a few years ago, and it's a pretty straightforward air gun. It does a good job. It doesn't do hyper detail, but I have a cheap Amazon one that does a pretty good job on that. So that is what I use. I don't know, it's like a $100 airbrush.
Yeah. Cooter's Garage. It's all right. It's all right. We're just fumbling through the intro here.
Glad you're here. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, the Patriot is a pretty solid choice, and it's not a bad choice for a beginner. And a lot of times they will be on sale for well under $100, but they run about 105. If you don't wait for a sale. Amazon spoils us because we don't have to consider shipping anymore. Most of the time.
That's true. It's a hell of a thing.
Which is always nice until you read that they're going to hand it over to USPS.
Yeah, that doesn't put good feelings.
I guess there won't be a Sunday delivery.
This was a big mistake here. Now I'm paying for it. This is I'm afraid this is the cost of doing so many things at once.
At one time, yeah.
Is this kind of stuff gets overlooked and then sets your whole deal back. That's just
Yeah, Jimmy, it feels like everybody's kind of used to the rising tide lifted all ships. When it comes to shipping services, it's kind of just the opposite. Like, oh, well, if all everybody expects is this, then this is all we have to do. Tristan's dusting his hiss. Does that sound creepy? Not really. I think you're in about the right kind of company that actually sounds like something that you would say, oh, cool.
That's
Jake, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Jake, what's up? Ken, what's up, man?
There.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see everybody. So just to get everybody up to speed while Mikey's doing that, we last week started on the Dragonsky kit from October Guard and the GI Joe Real American Hero comic series and later series also. Dragonsky is the flamethrower of the group. Rather brightly, unusually colored. Used purple shades. I believe they did that because the GI Joe team, they had a flamethrower and he was yellow and orange, and they didn't want to have another yellow-orange flamethrower, so they went with violet shades. Visually, it's striking, and when you put it in front of the red Soviet flag for art purposes, it really stands out and doesn't blend in. So it's kind of a nice.
That's a good point. I never thought about the theory behind the colors.
And Dragonsky was introduced before the Purple Cobras.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I just think that's what happened just because of the look.
Yeah, no, that checks out.
Robert.
What up?
And right behind Robert is Stacy. She gifted a membership, Mikey. Somebody's gonna get a membership, and oh.
Jimmy, all right. Well, that's a contractual obligation.
Holy underwear!
Yeah! Thank you!
It is my privilege to extend a laurel and hearty handshake to our new members.
This one's for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thanks, Jimmy, and thank you, Stacy. You are
welcome,
the best.
Jimmy. Welcome. I'm still definitely working out what it is I could do that would make the membership interesting. I think you may get some random live stuff while Dad and I are on the road next month. I think that could be fun.
Yes. Tristan thinks we ought to have a classified October Guard and Quinn. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. Both of those characters would be great to see, or both of those sets. Mikey does, I think, have a October Guard thing he's working on for somebody as a Action Joe Figs. Welcome.
Well, hello. How are we doing? No, doing good. Cleaning my airbrush at the moment, and then we're going to get started on some paint prep and some paint on Dragonsky.
Cliff, that is exactly true. I'm always amazed at the roundabout way they ship things. I know somehow somebody in logistics is either like just having a full-on good time messing with people, or they really have thought it out and said, oh, if we go through here and through here, it's going to be great. But yeah, also Cliff, good to see you.
Always good to see Cliff. Always good. He's already working on another batch of heads. Can you believe that? What was it? 29, Cliff? Is that where we're at right now?
Wow.
He said the number on when I was on the Hella Dope, and I was like, "Oh my god, is it really been that many?" That's
a lot of heads.
it's a lot of heads, man.
Action Joe Fig says May is almost over, and it's about time for DFW at the end of June. It's going to be great.
Yes, sir.
It is going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
Very much looking forward to the DFW.
Cliff says, yep, 29 so far. Smudge says he just had his stuff rerouted to the other side of the country before it made it to him. You know, being in the center of the country like Mikey and I are, that happens all the time. It's like they overshoot. You know, sending it from California, it ends up in Kentucky or New York or Chicago. Chicago's happened several times to me.
Chicago eats a lot of packages. Oh, man. I just jammed an airbrush needle like a 1/4 inch into my finger.
Okay. Well, that's a good start.
With lacquer thinner on it, too, is a
yeah.
real choice.
Dang, that's nice.
Oh, man. Hey, kids, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. That's what you get for not wearing that fancy finger guard.
I don't think that would have helped on an airbrush. I think the airbrush needle would have gone right through that, too.
Right through it. Yeah.
I think it works like chainmail. Like, if you're striking across it, you're good. But if it's a concentrated point, chink in the arm.
Jimmy, that is true. Anytime you're using acetone or paint thinner, you know that if you get a cut or anything, it is instantly clean.
That's true.
Yep. I'm seeing in the last year I've had tons of stuff delivered, and I have watched them go all over the place, and I doubt anybody here is gonna say anything awesome about DHL. So
I don't know if you could find anybody outside of Europe that would say something nice about DHL.
Right.
Like, as a company that imports from Europe, we don't use DHL anymore. We just switched.
Yeah, they're screwy, and then sometimes they'll even hand it off to USPS when they get to a hub in your state. They're like, oh, USPS can take it from here. I hate it when retailers think it's a great idea to ship a figure in an envelope and not a bubble mailer, but just an envelope. Thanks, Walmart. Yeah.
That's inexcusable.
Yeah, Suka, it's hilarious because it's like, you got to think like there's somebody at a desk somewhere that came up with that route, and they were like, oh, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
Triple D's Dungeon. Hey, man, no, you're really not that late. You're kind of coming in at a good time. Mikey's wrapping up his airbrush.
Dave, you have good timing, honestly, because I'm finishing cleaning this airbrush, so well done.
Mojo, welcome.
Mojo? Howdy do. Okay.
Wilhelm.
Will.
Welcome.
Look forward to seeing Will at Joe Fest. That's exciting. Finally get to meet that man. That's awesome.
Yep. Mojo, we're working on a Dragonsky kit, 112 scale. Fits over a Techno Viper body. It includes a chest armor, helmet, flamethrower, and tank pack. Oh, and gauntlets for the gloves.
Gauntlets, yes, new gauntlets, because
New
John
gauntlets.
remade them, so they are new gauntlets.
After I watched the video last week, I was like, no, we got to fix that up.
That won't do.
Indeed, Triple D. Customizers unite.
Damn straight.
Big enough market for everybody. I think everybody can get a piece of it. Share tips and tricks. Oh, Tristan, I can imagine.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
It's like, hey, we can use these animals. They have pouches.
I mean, in theory, that does sound good. That does.
Vash,
Shay?
it is really good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping by.
Dude, I feel like I haven't seen Vichay in so long. How the heck are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Competition organizing. Holy shit, that sounds like anxiety.
Okay. All right.
Send it right back to her, man. Miss you guys.
Absolutely. Give her one of those.
Heart emoji. Big hug.
Midwest gang symbol. All right.
Oh no, is it happening? It's happening.
It's happening. All right. Using a different camera setup here, so we're gonna see if this is better or worse.
Sam asked for your iconic wink and smile. Can you do that? I know you don't like performing on a.
I got it.
There you go. There it was.
I feel like I haven't done that in a long time. There you go, Sam. That's for you. Here comes the good stuff, Dave. You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Like I said, I intended to get some of this done this week, and it just didn't happen. So now I've got to figure out where we're at. Okay, that's all cleaned up. Those don't require anything. Here's the new gauntlets, or just the gloves. Yeah, they do. Well, let's see here. You can see added some wrinkles and thinned out the Father Son Galaxy. Hello, sir.
Evening.
So here's the old one, and this really makes it seem like a rigid gauntlet, like just something that goes over your forearm, whereas this actually seems like the end of a long glove. He's got wrinkles. He thinned out this piece here, even though, like on the back of the yearbook, it really does look very thick. Like
it does, but once it was printed and on the figure and saw it a few times, it just really wasn't good.
You can see, like, that looks substantial. That's a heck of a glove.
Yeah. 6'10" Yo Joe Daddy.
What's up, sir?
What is up, man? Thanks for stopping by.
Now, are there rights and lefts on these?
Nope, they're mirrored.
Okay, sweet, smart.
Well, they're not even mirrored. It's just the exact same part.
Literally the same thing. Okay, excellent.
That way, from when you turn it, the wrinkle is on a different side.
Nice.
It just gives it a little different look from the front.
I'll put that in my stuff you printed. All right, before I get started, I gotta show you guys one of the most disappointing things that happened this week.
Oh no, really? You're gonna show that?
Yeah, I'm gonna show it off. Okay, so I've been working on that tumbler for Jeff Wheat and turning it into the General Lee. I've had to paint the canopy 3 times. The first time, I don't know what happened. Bugs got in it. It was all messed up. I don't know if it was like bees. I don't know if they thought it was like a flower. I have no idea. It was orange, obviously. So I cleaned it up, sprayed it again, realized that was way too. It was actually, instead of like a Hemi orange, it was like, come and get me copper. Like it was way off. Stripped it, sanded it, went again, pure orange, looked great. Looked like the General Lee. Got that in. I put some vinyl on it to do the decals. Something was wrong with the vinyl. It said it was temporary. It did not peel like temporary. It left all the residue. So I had to go back down again, clear coat it. This was Monday. I had it hanging like over the weekend. It was hanging in the garage. I had it taped to a metal hanger. And Sunday morning I was leaving, pulling out of my garage, and I heard this crunch, and I immediately knew what happened. I got out of my car. It fell off the hanger, and I ran it over. Destroyed it. Done. I painted this goddamn thing 4 times, and this is how it ends. It was a really rough start. Now, the silver lining to this is that these tumblers now are $30 on Amazon. So, I got a new one. So if anybody needs parts for the tumbler outside of the canopy, I have a parts tumbler. So hit your boy.
Guys, I was on the phone with Mikey when this happened.
He heard the meltdown.
And I heard the exclamation.
Yes.
And he's gone for a few seconds. He gets back in the car. I hear him shut the door. And he was just like, fuck. And I was like, well, what is it? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it.
I did not want to talk about it.
So then I just came up with some bullshit to talk about. I could tell he was pissed. I didn't know why. He told me later why, but I totally understood. I've made similar mistakes. Menjoza.
Menyoza.
G-Force Racing in the house.
G-Force, what's up, buddy? Oh my God. We got almost 40 people in here. I don't think I've ever had that many people on a JMK Custom Live. That's amazing, people. And I feel like I need to do something for you guys.
Let's do something celebratory.
That's good. That's good. What's it gonna be? I like this.
I can hear that you are dying.
Oh, I love that one.
Every time, man.
I love that one so much. Have you watched any of that show? Have you watched Resident Alien?
Yeah, I've
Good Lord. It's so good.
Jeff Morris, welcome.
Whoa. Hello, sir. That's amazing.
Amazing. Thanks for jumping in.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well.
Got some condolences here.
I appreciate that.
People get it. People get it.
It's not life without challenges. And thankfully, like I said, Amazon had them for $30. I feel like that made it okay. Like that's a $30 mistake. It's one I wish I didn't make. But $30 is a heck of a lot better than the $100 that they were initially. So.
And you learned a little something about checking your surroundings before you back out of the garage.
Yeah. Also, just take that off and lay it down, after a night of drying is probably a good.
Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but if you were doing like a custom of Batman or somebody fighting like a strong villain, you could actually use that canopy to look like he ripped it open.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, if you had so much space that you'd just be, let's just do a smashed Batmobile tumbler diorama because I have a coffee table that needs filled.
Bane throwing, smashing Batman into the tumbler, just smashing the roof.
That's right, Mojo. Mind your surroundings.
Absolutely. Lesson
So
learned.
good that you picked up on that.
Oh,
When Mikey
all
told me
right.
that, I was like, if I had $30 right now, I would buy one just to do something wild with it.
Hey, dude, I mean, you know, like we were talking on I was saying on Hella Dope, like get something cheap and just try something out. Bam, $30. Try a vehicle, you know, like there's definitely cheaper methods than that. Like you could go to a like a thrift store or something. You probably find a $10 model kit to try a vehicle, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it would actually be a great thing to, if you wanted something large scale to test out a new airbrush. If you decide to buy one, get you one of those tumblers, wipe it down, and just start painting crap on it.
Try it out, man. Try it out. I don't wonder if I don't think I've seen Gun Bunny do any tumblers, but boy, that seems right up his alley for $30.
Yeah, Tristan, that would look pretty cool.
It definitely would.
And it would save you, because if you are doing customs and you ever want to do something like that where you're doing an airplane or something, doing like battle damage, there's always a little part of you that's sad. Well, in this case, the battle damage is mostly already done, so there's nothing to feel bad about. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, it's kind of like us giving it a second life at that point. Like, sweet.
That's awesome.
I got mine right here. You probably have never been able to see it, but it's literally.
I've already packed mine with my other stuff that
with your mementos.
Yeah. Robert says, since you brought up Alan Tudyk, I propose a sitcom on Disney. There is, and everybody would talk about the fact that he does all the voices.
I'd be totally fine with it. Honestly, I'll watch just about anything with Alan in it.
They could all be stuck on a spaceship with Wash driving it.
Hell yeah. I'm in. Disney, just do it.
Tristan, that is insane.
What? That's gotta be like just the Aussies, right? Like I feel like American military was just like that's part of it. That's crazy.
It's fun, right? G-Force, like you don't even care. You're just like, let me make something out of this. Yeah. I lifted a Rhino line and painted my Vanguard. Tumblr is just going to be for fun. There you go. I tell this story once in a while, but one time a buddy of mine was like telling me you really can't rattle can paint a model car and not have to rub out the paint and all that. So I took the challenge, and I had this back when Batman '89 was out. AMC had a Joker mobile, which was really just a like '76 Coronet 4-door cop car, was the goon car. I took that 4-door Coronet body and I laid down a paint of, I forget the name. It was a type of magenta that testers had at the time. I'm telling you guys, that was the prettiest paint I had ever laid on a model car, and it was on this 4-door Coronet body. Totally useless. He was impressed. He was like, okay, you've proven me wrong. So that was, I think I still have that in a box somewhere because I just can't throw it away, even though it is this crappy Coronet body. Like, eh. So yeah. Yeah, Jeff, Tractor Supply, or if you got a once from all Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, they'll have sales on their toys. And they have some of the cheap, like Ram 4x4s and stuff like that you can mess with. There's also some pretty cool vehicles in that stuff in 1/18 scale. They have a seaplane and a few other items that nobody else really has. But yeah, those are great for just trying something out. Here's a good one from Suka. What do you use for clear coat or seal your paint after? You got a couple of different choices, right? Do you have something different for matte versus satin? A different kind of paint, or are they just two different?
It's the same brand, but they're different finishes. So it's just Army Painter gloss and satin varnish. They are formulated for air, but I still thin them and I do airbrush them from time to time, especially gloss, because usually it's just small details that I want to be shiny. So I'll do it that way.
GeForce Racing, this is true. The best way to get me to spark into action is to somehow question my creative abilities. Something like, "Oh, I bet you couldn't do this." I can. Jeff Butler, who knows his shit.
Jeff,
wonderful
frickin' Butler.
Wonderful quote from a great movie just for quotes and memes.
Truth.
Yeah. Jeff, when I first saw that you had quoted something, I had made the seaplane comment, and I was really expecting a Tales of the Golden Monkey quote. A little disappointed, but I love you, man.
All right then.
Swearing in Australia is our national language. The C word can even, and here the C word is like the ultimate.
It's the worst.
When you drop that one, you better be ready for nuclear level fallout, because it's going to come to you.
I don't know how that word got so much power.
I don't either, because it's really not that bad.
No. I mean,
but
what other genital-based word has any weight to it at all?
Yeah.
You call somebody a dickhead. I guess if you call somebody a sea sucker, that one carries a little weight.
Yeah,
it's not the name of the thing. It's the action that.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different. Yeah, I don't know how the C word got so much power, but I think it's horse shit.
Mojo, thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate it. Appreciate the interaction. We love it.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good night.
Max, slap the paint on it. Do it. We got a little prep work to do here that we didn't get to last week. So, Roll Keepers here.
Dan.
Welcome.
Hello, sir.
Max says, "Hey Pops, bet you can't bring a 1/12 scale outpost model to DFW. Don't you test me, Maximilian Tucker. Don't you test me."
He's figured it out.
I'm gonna use the "we're not gonna have room in the car" excuse on that one.
Okay, but that is like legitimate.
That is legitimate.
That's a legitimate thing. That's our issue this year is logistics and time.
GeForce Racing, that is true. Tell a man he can't do something and watch him do it. Some of the greatest and most terrifying inventions known to man probably started out that way.
That's probably true.
There's no way you can figure out a way to split the atom. Well, that seems to be true all around this country. There are words that you cannot say anymore. There are words that you can't utter in the presence of certain types of people. It's really kind of crazy.
It's Bush League.
Robert. I suppose that is probably true.
That could be. Can't disprove it.
Samuel, welcome.
Hello, sir.
Jeff's got to just make the new C word be charbroil. Every fiber of my being wants to, but I have something that I'm working on for that show that I think will be a little more exciting. So
an easier challenge.
If I don't have time, I'm going to knock something out just to be a pain.
An easier thing to pack into a space would be a 112 watchtower.
You know, that is exactly
you already
what
have
I was
that modeled.
thinking. Not the GI Joe watchtower, but something new and
your
different.
watchtower.
Yeah. Yes, that actually could happen.
That could happen because the work's done. That would just be printing. But you also have a lot of printing to do before the show. Bed space is premium right now.
Yes, it is.
I'm going silent.
Tristan, are they pretty good? Have you built one yet, or just bought a couple? And which ones did you pick up? Well, that is true, Max. Most of those words needed to die anyway. Headcanon Unlimited, welcome, my friend. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, you know, David, what's funny about that is even if you watch that now, like, you can actually get away with saying 6 of them, but there's still one you can't say. I don't know, Robert. He invoked the code. Damn it. Oh yeah, that is nice. I saw pictures of that. That's pretty cool. Okay, now, hey Mikey, will you reach over there when you get done with the Dremel and pick up one of those gloves and throw it down on the mat? That works.
There you go. It's a finger glove.
Gauntlet thrown. Yeah, those look pretty cool too. I really like building those kits. I just never have time. Well, let's be honest, Jeff. Monty Python has several great songs. But yeah,
they do have some bangers.
That one always cracks me up. Oh, Robert, now you're just complicating it. Now I have to make 2. You're killing me. You're killing me. Max, are you going to DFW? I can't remember. I think Robert said he was out this year, which sucks, but just Jeff.
Jeff.
Nerds indeed. Nerds indeed. Okay, good. All right.
Oh, yeah, right. Nice.
3 Jeffs are here. Jeff Butler says, so it is a council now. The Council of the Jeffs is in session.
They're here and
hold up, Jeff. What do you mean you're not gonna? No.
You liar.
Oh, come on, man.
Liar.
Exactly. I understand that, Jeff. I really am just giving you a good time. I would love to see you, though.
What do you say? Oh, that sucks.
Well, that's the thing, Tristan. Once the Council of Jeffs is in session, you really you're supposed to. That's a good point, G-Force Racing. I prefer geeks. Nerds insinuates that we are smart.
Different kinds of smarts. You know.
Jeff Butler says, listening to the Council of Jeffs will take you far. That is true.
That's true.
Yes, Jeff, the one brain cell that we share, it does work over time, and it also tends to ebb the more of us that are together. Well, joint prep. We got a locked up one, everybody.
I can't tell if it's locked or. It's tough when it's this short because you don't have the leverage anymore.
You don't have any leverage on it, right?
Sometimes it's just a matter of just not getting leverage. Lower elbows.
Just, well, it's like any other kind of puzzle. It's all fun and games until one piece is missing, and then it just messes you up. Mikey, after Dragonsky, how many October Guard characters will you have made? In 1/18 scale, he's made at least a full set.
Made all in 1/18, but in 1/12, this will be the first one that I've made. I've painted heads. I've painted just about everybody for Cliff, minus like the second members, Misha and Gorky. I haven't done those, but I was talking to him about it, and if we can find heads, we'll look into it. We'll probably end up doing them for him. So,
Jacob, you actually are here at a good time. We're doing a little joint prep, so that is where we are at.
And Jacob, looks like you and Chad got some friggin' work done. It looks really nice over there.
Jeff, you should have just made up an address and posted it on here and see what happens.
Just roll the dice.
Ooh. Do you see Max's message? That's hurtful.
Okay.
That's hurtful. Always a bridesmaid, but never a bride.
Well, I mean, you're definitely the bride in this one.
Oh,
I think
good.
I'm the bridesmaid. So I'm just gonna have to relay this to you. I got you, Max. I got you. All right, do a little more preps. I'm going snake eyes.
Okay. All right. So Max, what's funny is this guard tower. It is a design for another toy line. And a few years ago, I did it all in the modeling program CATIA, which I've talked about before. It's a very expensive program, and I got in a little trouble for using it because I was using a boot copy, and paid a little price there for that. Unfortunately, the version that they let me buy as a trade-off for paying the infringement fee was that they gave me a 3-month version of it that I could use for 3 months. So when I talk about how pricey it is, that was around $6,000. And the version of it that they gave me would not export to STL properly. So I exported everything to STL with the program they gave me, and it like did it in all different scales. It didn't print it the same. So that I was kind of wrecked with that because I had made a bunch of changes to it. Troy and I had some stuff we wanted to do to it to make it a little different. The one that I have in my background in the old setup, that was the original version. I printed that thing like 4 years ago. Well, we made changes to it. And then when I started using Onshape recently, I found out that it would import CATIA models. You don't have any of the mathematics and parametrics behind it, but you do get the model. So I actually have that, and I am wanting to print it. I'm going to have to do it in 1/12 scale would probably be just fine, but then the issue becomes the print bed. So we shall see what happens. We shall see what happens with that. Jacob says, yeah, he promised friendship through manual labor. Just kidding. Had fun. It was fun, like setting up another toy store. That's cool.
It looks really good. It looks like you did a really great job over there.
Same, G-Force Racing. Can't wait. It's so cool to actually get to meet everybody. I had a blast at DFW last year, meeting all of everybody that Mikey was interacting with on at the time. We had a couple of people watching a couple of kooks, and that all of that really kind of made it feel a little easier to start doing regular shows. And I think it's fun. I think the interaction is really my favorite part. I had wanted to start a YouTube channel where I did like pre-made videos and talked about things, but man, I really just like the interaction. It can make it lets you take what you may only have an hour of content, but with great interaction from chat, you can take that out a bit. It gives you a chance to talk about things you don't always talk about. And I remember on one of our first couple of kook shows, that show took forever to get through, and it's because the chat like got really crazy deep and talking about all kinds of stuff that had nothing to do with toys, but it was very informative.
Yep.
So it was pretty cool. So Mikey is showing everybody the proper way to put a finger guard on the finger that you're not cutting towards. It really is. I love that. Sorry about that. Good deal. Triple D, we're not doing a class or anything at Joe Fest. And if we do set up a table, it'll be at the after hours, like in the hallways where they do the swap meets and stuff. We'll probably try to. We really want to set something up there. We both like to sell things. So no, we won't be doing that at Joe Fest. Headcanon Unlimited, the 112 version of the Checkpoint Alpha. There are a couple of them out there. A friend of mine 2 years ago had printed off a couple of them. I thought it was a pretty cool setup, the Checkpoint Alpha. So. I know, Tristan. The ocean. Whatever. Big body of water, dumb.
Stupid geography.
Well, GeForce Racing, what would a customizer be without scars on their fingers from every time that happened?
No, that is true.
Mikey and I, on one of the shows, we were talking about these scalpels that I used to be able to buy that were super, super sharp, really pointed. They were just
like actual scalpels, like medical scalpels.
Yeah. And there used to be at a antique mall, they sold them by the bag of 50. And I would buy them, and that was way cheaper than buying X-Acto blades. They weren't as durable as X-Acto blades, but they were sharp. I remember one time I dropped one, and it stuck right into the top of my foot, like just half deep into the top of my foot. And it was like one of those Ace Ventura moments when he gets I was just kind of looked at it and was like, ah. It didn't hurt that much until I pulled it out. But yeah, it was. I think if you're talking about the blades, I think that Micromark has those same blades. These looked like they were a kind of that teal color that that you kind of think about medics,
like surgery gown
color. But man, like I say, the scalpel was super sharp. It had it was a real nice ergonomic handle, and then it had a little plastic sleeve that protected the blade. And I think it was actually more to protect the user of the blade than the blade. Yes, pain is the price to survive as a customizer.
Yeah.
Cutthroat Comics. Are you a Chad hole?
What's up, Chris? Yeah, I think I was in that chat where that was right. Big old Chad hole.
Ken Stoy says, always heard it called Gundam thumb. I have scar tissue on my right thumb that's like leather. Oh, me too. Me too. I like that name, that Gundam thumb. It kind of rings with Garand thumb. Makes what we do feel more serious than it actually is.
That's true. It puts stakes in the game.
Yeah. Triple D's Dungeon. I'm a Chad hole. Dude is my new tag team partner, so it only makes sense I'd be a fan.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's right, Maximilian. You'll have soft hands when you are dead. Model on.
Hell yeah.
Years of playing Mortal Kombat has hardened my thumbs. Truth.
Yeah.
Cutthroat Comics says, I always like seeing Mikey hard at work on a live stream. It's therapeutic, isn't it? Cliff, I understand that. One time I was cutting a piece of plywood for a hood scoop that I was building a master model for, and somehow it caught, and oh my lord, it knocked the breath right out of me.
Yep.
Cooter's Garage, did somebody say steak? Indeed.
You can't see it so much, but there's a scar on that knuckle from table saw kickback.
What a day in the ER that was.
That was ridiculous.
Machine Man says, back in the day, my modeling sessions ended once I glued myself to a part.
Well, I feel like I've glued myself to myself more than I have parts. Like I'll
I have too, holding two parts, and I've got them to where they finally like stick together, and then I go to let go. Yeah,
stuck. Yeah. Well, that or cutting yourself and literally gluing yourself back together.
Yeah, I've actually done that, and now you can they actually tell you that's an acceptable way to seal off a cut.
I mean, half the time in the ER, that's what they're going to do unless it's really deep.
Yeah.
That's what they did that day I got that kickback. They just glued that fucker thing.
Yeah, they did. We used to call the calluses we got from art as money bumps. I like that.
Money bump still sounds like cocaine, though.
Jeff Butler, some of the words you can't say on TV, bullpucky, Gundam, and Chadhole. Cliff, one of my fingernails will never grow straight again because I hit the edge of it. I knocked it all the way down with a right angle grinder.
That may be the tool that I have done the sketchiest shit with, a right angle grinder.
I don't know, Mikey, if you remember when I was doing mold building all the time, I had that buffer with the 10-inch 40 grit pad on it. Instead of a buffer pad, it was just this big 10-inch pad. It was like, I mean, that was back when I was doing that all the time, so the muscles in my arm would actually handle it. And I would just swing that thing around. I'd cut edges and put chamfers and stuff on stuff out of wooden Bondo. I loved using that tool. But yeah, there were a couple of times when I wasn't thinking that I had it in my hand while I was running, and like, honestly, I knocked cut safety glasses off my face one time because I had an itch on my shoulder. I was wearing a Tyvek suit, and I reached up and I had that thing, and it was going, touched it, and just cut through the glasses and just cut them right off my head. My buddy Roger was there, and he I thought he was going to have a heart attack over it. And I was like, I'm okay. I just lost it. That was back when we were working tons of overtime to get projects done for boat shows, and yeah, it was already been a 16-hour day, and yeah, I really worked it out.
Fool.
Yeah, me too.
I really like these little pads for cleaning parts. This is way better than cotton pads.
What is it? What kind of pad is it?
It doesn't shed. It doesn't leave any fibers.
Oh, awesome.
They're freaking perfect.
Yeah, I was one of those guys that had a shop teacher that literally was missing a finger and a half. So when he was talking about safety, I don't even know if he really lost them in a table saw incident or if he just lost them and said, hey, this will be a pretty good way to scare the kids into using this shitty guard.
I mean, that's true. We both grew up without using guards.
Yeah, I just absolutely hate them.
But I have Pawpaw stuff has guards on it.
I have actually gotten saved from a kickback thanks to a guard. So when you're doing something the size of a boat, it's not unusual to be cutting a 4x8 piece of plywood, and it gets kind of hard to manhandle that by yourself, and sometimes you just don't get that angle right. So the guard was actually pretty handy when that went to kickback.
Well, I could see that. I mean, I understand the use of them. It just, man, get in the way.
Triple D's Dungeon says, I've glued myself back together too many times to think about. I'm like Gorilla Glue Frankenstein. Rowdy, welcome.
What up, bros?
Yes, it is G-force raising. But you know, some of that, though, like difference between now and then was back then, sometimes they just expected you to hurt yourself just so you'd learn the lesson. That's right, Cliff. We don't need no stinking guards.
Get that out of here. Ain't got time to bleed. That's what the governor of Minnesota taught me.
Really, Tristan? That's awesome. I mean, it's terrible, but it's awesome. One of my favorite channels to watch is Grand Thumb's videos. He always has great gun videos. He's even done one about where that term comes from. It would be good, especially when he gets cranking up and he's just like pumping out the process, you know. Little play-by-play would be great.
But I'd want it like Better Off Dead.
Oh, the Howard Cosell style?
Yeah, I'd want the Howard Cosell.
Yeah. Alpha Red, welcome.
What up?
Truth. We have the scars to prove it. Cutthroat Comics. Mikey, is this a commission or just for fun custom you're doing? This is going to be a kit that we're going to offer on the website, and we'll have from the Couple of Coops store. So that is, Mikey is, like he did the sci-fi kit before, he is just verifying that everything is going to work and that all the parts look nice the way we intended them. This is our basically prototype run. Once Mikey does this and we know what we need to change, we'll make changes, and then we will start pumping out kits for the shows.
Yes, sir.
David Andrews says, oh, my angle grinder is called in my garage the universal wrench. It's just such a useful tool.
It is.
And even though Mikey does these and we use them for the photo ops for the store, pretty much everything he does is available for sale. Rollkeeper asks, aside from the Destro, what do I need to bring for the custom class? That's all you need to bring. You bring the Destro, we're gonna have some tools there for you to use. We're gonna have some other stuff to help with the build. They'll probably end up with some stuff to take home with you. Jeff Butler, he does a really nice layout here of how such a play-by-play color commentary would work.
Gun
Buddy Customs, good evening. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Question for you, Gun Buddy Customs. Have you done a tumbler custom?
I found out this week that they're $30. I was like, man, I wonder if
$30 on Amazon for a tumbler.
I mean, damn, you know.
You know, David, it is pretty scary, but if you had spent a week in our tooling shop, this was so low on the list of dangerous things that we did. And honestly,
Okay, we're talking
one
about the same group of individuals that rigged up air like the nozzles to shoot nails at each other.
They were screws, son. Let's be. So the idea there is what you do with an air gun is you take that stupid safety nozzle off and you take advantage of those threads in there and you just put the screw in like a quarter thread. So when you fire that pin out, it gets a little build up behind it before it comes out. Yeah, that's scary with the chainsaw. But that happened to be one of the days I wasn't wearing my regular glasses because it was really hot, and I had taken them off because I was doing close-up work and I wasn't too worried about it. I say close-up work with a 10-inch grinder, but yeah, so it was just it just happened to be one of those days. It didn't even scratch my face; it just literally cut the side off the safety glasses. It was scary, but this is the same group of guys we would break apart the 1.25-inch staples off of a staple gun cartridge and fire them at each other with rubber bands. And let me tell you, there is some power behind those. And that is a safety glasses necessary. We had one guy that didn't wear safety glasses while we were doing that one day, and we had these boards that we all kind of became attached to our Bondo boards. Like everybody had a shape they liked, and it would kind of end up domed a little bit because all the Bondo you did on it. And he was using his Bondo board as a shield, and two of us kind of ganged up on him. Didn't have safety glasses on, and as he moved his shield to the other guy, I let loose with the staple, and it caught him right in the eyebrow and just hung there on his eye for a little bit before he knocked it out. Like I said, there was some. Also, if you want to have a fun in a big shop, if you run an 80 grit paper and you fold it over into a perfect square, excellent throwing star. I mean, those things will fly. Larry, thanks for dropping in. Definitely check out the replay. All right, Gun Bunny says he has not done a tumbler custom.
Oh,
so
shit.
Earlier in the show, Mikey showed that he had a little accident this week and messed up the canopy on one of the things he's working on. And we were talking about how it could be cool to like make it look like one of Batman's villains is like ripping the canopy open and go ahead and use it. He won't be able to use it obviously for this custom that he's working on for Jeff, but it would be a pretty cool thing to do. Max, yeah, the classified, the Spaceman is going to be black. He'll be all black. So I would recommend either one of the classified, either the retro or the first run of that Destro. When we set out to do this, it was kind of, Destros were pretty common. I see now I don't know if they're really drying up or if people have seen that they're popular, so they've ramped up the prices.
I think that's what it is.
I think that's more what's happening because it was pretty common to be able to grab a Destro on Mercari for $10 to $15, no problem at all. But now it's not as easy. I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. This kit is designed to fit that body specifically. If you wanted to do something outside of the lines, you could use the Pimp Daddy Destro body, but we're not going to have time in that class. We got an hour. We're going to bring everybody in, set them down with the Destros, do whatever pop and swap we got to do with the body, boil and pop we got to do with the body. And then we will put it together. We will furnish the kits. They will be in black. So if you get a Destro that has the gray accents, it won't matter. It'll look fine. But we'll get you to the point where you can walk out of there with a figure you can show off and feel pretty decent about it. It won't be perfect. It'll be up to you. And then in our panel, we will talk about other customizing things that you could do to that kit that will apply to anything else you're doing. Yeah, Jeff, $30 for that tumbler is a hell of a deal. That's a big chunk of plastic. I'm the same way, Tristan. The Batman '89 Batmobile is will always have a special place for me, but the Barris version is the king.
Yeah, the future.
So I totally agree with that. Yeah, Cliff, A-Team indeed. Machine Man, it depends on what you're gluing together. You got some options. Yeah. PVA, which is usually what the softer plastic is. There are several things. It becomes a little more difficult. Super glue is always good to use, and that's kind of still the king. I think is good methacrylate adhesive. Some things still need a mechanical bond, so if you have a situation where you can scuff two edges and put them together. But I also use that DAP as a glue that is really good for putting together semi-flexible plastics. If you're doing something straight ABS, well, good old model glue is king. Or if you can get your hands on some MEK.
MEK
is extremely vicious in its liquid property. It's very runny, but it will almost instantly join two pieces of ABS plastic just like that. You put them together and it's seconds and it is set. It instantly starts attacking the plastic and basically welds the two pieces of plastic together. Almost
and
every
not your
other
fingers.
time.
Doesn't work on flesh.
It will glue. Yeah, it does not glue your fingers like model glue does. But one thing to know about that is that chemical bond is one of the few that is a true weld bond. Super glue is just a material that holds two other pieces of material. Methacrylate, yes, it has a little bit of a stickiness to it, but your weakness is going to be where the joint is actually glued together, where the glue touches it. So anytime you can use something that is caustic enough to melt the two pieces of plastic together, you will always have a better bond with that. Even if you have something that is kind of soft, but it will break down with acetone. If you put acetone on both sides of that and let it set for just a couple of seconds and then pinch it together, probably be the best bond you'll have other than, a straight weld. I enjoyed enough to jump in.
It wasn't much for watching. I'd see it, I'd want to do it, and then
basically he'd see me do something once, and then he was in on it. If he did feel left out, he just went and grabbed a bunch of GI Joes out of the free parts bucket and started just making his own stuff in that ring. But we used to do a lot of 12-inch stuff, like playing with them and making different characters. And at that time, there were a ton of 12-inch items, 1/6 scale items that were for sale in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Not really, Jimmy. A screw does not fly any truer. In fact, the beauty of the screw is its tumble quality. And what I mean by that is it will actually has excellent bouncing properties, like to ricochet something off a wall if somebody is hiding behind it, like they think they're safe. The screw seems to have a better tumble quality. It might take you 2 shots, but you'll get it. You'll get them. Sugar, that's exactly right. Once you do get a little piece of metal in your eye, you will always wear safety glasses. There is no doubt. As somebody that has worn glasses since they were about 10 years old, like you kind of take for granted that you always have this eye shield, and it's not until you get, like, if you're grinding fiberglass, that's another situation where you really want to protect your eyes. A little piece of fiberglass in there, while not as painful as a piece of metal, it's pretty nasty. So
I remember doing a header swap, and I didn't have my glasses on, and some rust particles fell into my eye. And, I went damn near insane for like a good 40 minutes.
Yeah, because
until I like literally started crying. Like that was my body's reaction. Was like, "Well, get it out."
G-Force Racing. It's funny you say that. Every time I do not, as much as I use blades and sometimes take for granted the safety of them. I always have when I pick up a super sharp knife, especially slicers. Like I just have this like hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I just have this like weird feeling like some people get when they see a needle, you know. I just hate that. And every time I see like a slicer or a mandolin slicer, I think of that every time. Like it just freaks me out because it's something you're just getting ready to make food with or do something with food. You don't think anything about it. But when you pick that blade up and see how quickly it slices through something, I don't know. It's just super sharp blades are freaky to me. Not so freaky though. I've got one of those fancy finger guards like Mikey has, but actually, Jacob, in the world that I have grown up in professionally, I did actually know that OSHA stands for Only Stupid Humans Allowed. And one thing I'll always say about OSHA and safety people is somebody's got to carry those clipboards around while the rest of the people work. Mendoza has a really good point here, Mikey. Can the canopy still be used as a mask?
Yeah, I could probably get it there again.
You could almost get like a Two-Face or a kind of creepy mask vibe from it now.
Yeah, now there's a split in it.
Well, yeah, using a nail gun too. I mean, we obviously those staple guns. You know, when you pull the safety back. What's funny is for a full big nail gun or a big staple gun for inch and a half staples is they have this little safety lever on them, so you have to push on the front to make it flush with whatever you're getting ready to staple before it will fire. And what they don't tell everybody is if you just break off 5 staples and slide it in there, it pushes that blade back far enough that you don't have to push it up against anything. So, yeah, nail gun blowback sucks. Model Misfit, welcome.
What up, dude?
James Lucas is here.
What up, James?
You are welcome, Machine Man. Solvents and glues is something I've had a ton of experience with, even in my professional and personal hobby life. So, wood glue is pretty amazing how well it bonds. Suka, so you're saying the glue, unlike my old pastor, won't hold me inappropriately. Well, I don't want to speak for the glue because I don't know the circumstances that led to that situation where you are trying to join 2 pieces of plastic together in holy matrimony. But I'd like to think not. Yeah, if you're using MEK, it will not hold you inappropriately. Jeff Butler says, in 1999, I learned not to kneel near where a metal pipe had just been cut. Luckily,
that's a good lesson.
Did not brush my knee off with my hand next. Yeah, no kidding. That's true, David. It does not do as well once it gets dry. And what's wild is a lot of solvents and glues, when you put the 2 pieces together, it actually does a little better if you let it set for a couple of seconds and not try to put it together wet. It kind of gives it a quicker dry process. And that's just because by holding it out in the air before you put it together, you're giving it a chance to seal in the middle. So there's already a bond there. So it dries faster that way. Jay Gonzo. What's up, gentlemen? What's up, man? I actually think GeForce Racing Weld Bond 3, I got to look. It's been a while since I've looked at what that is. I believe that has MEK in I believe that is its. Sucks, doesn't it? Metal shards in the eye are just nightmare fuel. J-Mac.
Pretty good match. What up, J-Mac?
Mikey, what color did you end up using for the lighter shade of purple?
Pro acrylic magenta.
Magenta is good. It's hard not to think that is pretty much the color they were going for on that main.
Yeah, it's essentially the color of Pepto-Bismol, just a little darker. And then for the pads, I'm going to go with the Pro Acrylic Signature Series Royal Purple.
Oh, good. That's good.
I think that'll be a nice...
So will that be on the pads and the helmet?
Yeah. Pads, the helmet, the gloves. Yeah, it'll be all over.
You mean like PennDOT holding the clipboard? Kind of. I tend to... I'm a production manager right now, and as someone that actually produces the product that pays everybody's salary, I kind of give the support teams a hard time because a lot of times their influence is from them walking around with a clipboard and writing things down, and then you hear about it the next day in a meeting, like this whole list of things your people were doing wrong. So I just call them the clipboard brigade. So yes, very much like that. Cutthroat Comics, that is a very good point. It does sound like a good color for knee pads. Royal purple, indeed. Now, Mikey, will you mask off those knee pads? Will you mask them off, or are you just going to shoot them?
Yeah, I think I'll mask off the pads, like I did with the Saw Viper. I did.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I painted the gray and then masked them off. It takes a significant amount of time, but I think it's the best results.
G-Force Racing picked up a cheap Ross 48 color acrylic paint set. Has a lot of bold colors.
Oh, right on. I've not
is it pens or is it literally paint?
Interesting.
Very few things. It's one of those things that you really don't ever think about it happening, and then when it does happening, you're kind of like, how could I avoid this next time? And then you go ahead and finish out the cuts of wood that you're doing and live with it.
Yeah, like you acknowledge what you could do, but it's not what you're gonna do.
Yeah, if it, it's one of those things. If it doesn't break the skin, you probably live through it, which is actually terrible advice. That's terrible advice. It
is, but
I've had enough cracked ribs that I can tell you that is not good advice. Diorama Legend is making for you looks pretty dope.
It does, dude. He's killing that. Yeah, he is. He's killing that. I can't wait to put that up here. Honestly, I'm probably gonna put it right under the other one, or I may reconfigure it so the doors line up. So one would be an interior and one would be the exterior. But I assume X-Force and at least definitely Punisher is going to go in that abandoned building. Pretty excited about it, actually. I still have so many figures I want to get done. I just don't know if I'm going to have time. Time is going to be the thing. Speaking of, I'm going to set those off to the side so I don't get too excited and try to move the joints before it's cured.
David, I also have an affinity for drywall screws and using them for almost everything.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's go here.
Is it time? Word, JMac, word.
All right.
Here it comes. Is this it? Is it time?
It is.
Look at this beauty.
So this is it. Now it's not put together because I still have to work on some stuff, and the center caps are inside. They're painted the same color here. And you can take these off because the original Z-Force Jeep doesn't have doors, so those come off. I didn't put any graphics on them. That way it doesn't take away from the look at all. But I did pretty heavily weather. And then this is the piece that Dad is making new. So this is the turret cap because the clearance doesn't work for the roof rack with the boat and everything in it. But this is wired.
Oh yeah.
Individually, so all the wires are ran underneath it, and the switch is right there, here on the side. So while this is mounted up, you can hit the top lights. As for the other ones in the back,
it does, doesn't it? It does kind of get those big gym vibes.
Oh hell yeah! In the back, there is a weapons crate right here. That's the one of those that I was showing off last week that are like the Pelican cases.
Those are cool.
So there's
is
one
it a long one?
Yeah, it's like you would have for a long gun, a rifle, or a shotgun. And inside it, so that's not. Inside of it, I don't have to take this apart. The way the lights are ran, it kind of makes it difficult to do this right now. But inside it, if we can see inside there's 2 battery packs, and they just take the watch batteries. But headlights.
Slick.
So there's 2 in each. Pretty badass.
That is super cool.
And then
Machine Man says no gas cans inside. Not sure why that was a thing.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that either. And then the pack that's on the lid runs the tail lights and the fog lights, but it's not connected right now. But it did work. I tried it out the other day. They came on just fine. So yeah, so I did a little modding to to the bumper, and I put these lights, which is the same. It's the same kit that came with this roof rack and those lights, but I put them on there because that is actually how the Z-Force Jeep has them. It actually has two big fog lights on it. So I did that and then wired them through the body, and then I'll put the black cover over them and the lenses and everything. But yeah, I'm actually super pumped about it. So as you can see the Z on the hood and the Z126, which really just feels like a model of a bass boat, but I don't think that's what they were going for. But yeah, that's the Z-Force Jeep. The taillights were actually probably the biggest pain in the ass, because I had to cut out a channel that mimics the see-through part there, and then I had to make a cap that covered the back so it could be sealed off. But yeah, man, that's the Z-Force Jeep.
So that's too tall. What'd you tell me about that yesterday morning?
I think it was Monday night, like real late Monday night.
Oh yeah, well, it was after the incident with the.
So that's that, dude. Pretty awesome.
So Mikey sends me a message with a ruler on the hole. Talked to him about it yesterday morning. So last night, that's what you meant about putting it together with the wiring?
Huh?
That's what you meant about putting it together with the wiring?
Yeah.
All right, while you're doing that, I'm going to flip this thing up.
Oh, don't do it to that one.
Oh, what did that do?
And then go here. And
now add it. There it is. All right, so last night I sat down in front of the computer and built this hatch. Little Z-Force logos for tread pattern. That's what we did. That's what I did. And then let me see this in the camera. I went ahead and 3D printed it. It is not purple. The light's just making it look purple. So this will set a little more flush and give him room to put that roof rack on it.
yeah,
So, teamwork makes the dream work.
damn straight.
So I am just going to tape that, wire that up to a pigeon and get that going your way.
Nice. All right, so the light pulled out because I haven't set it, but there's the tail lights. Back of it. So
Yeah, it is. It is a Vanguard.
I got to cover the back of them, but hell yeah, that's
For those that don't know, Palatoy in the 1980s had a line of figures that were 3 3/4, 5 POA. It eventually became Action Force that was GI Joe molds, but originally it was just kind of Star Wars type figures. And one of the subgroups was Z-Force, and everyone in it was about this color green with black splotchy camo, and that's what it is. And that is the beauty of customizing vehicles, is that you hope that someone wants that to do something with. Any chance he's going to release a stripped down version for blanks? Of which thing? Which thing? I use resin. And this sounds crazy. I do not have the patience to master FDM printing right now. Right now, resin is my jam. I've been using resin printers since they first came out. And to the point that I actually got sensitized to that kind of resin at one point, when the resin was a lot more toxic than it is now, and like literally spots on my skin from that, where it actually took and that's been what, Mikey, 10 years ago that happened, that accident happened, and
Yeah.
the pigment has never returned to my hands and arms.
Yeah, it's like Zakanin white.
Yeah, it is very much so. Yeah, I don't have anything against FDM. In fact, some of the newer printers with their resolution are really good, and I think that if I was doing parts for anything that I needed to have tensile strength at all, I would have somebody print it. I'd model it and have somebody print it in FDM. I don't have an FDM machine at all right now, but that's what I would do, just because the amount of plastics you can get, types of plastic that you literally are melting to make that, are so much more resilient, and you can do a lot with that.
And you don't have to worry about the fumes.
That's right. And cleanup is a lot easier with FDM than it is for resin. Resin, you go through a lot of IPA, isopropyl alcohol. I know, right? He put lights in it. It's awesome. It's going to be such a cool upgrade.
I can't wait to just display it out. Hopefully somebody will actually want it. I mean, I made it with intent to sell. The whole reason I got a Vanguard was to do this. Well, I was going to make the AF3, but this of course is so much cooler.
It is. Yeah, man, the resin burns are just part of it. You really do learn to really watch your PPE, wear your gloves. You don't think anything about it. Like I say, the new resin isn't near as toxic, but when I was using an industrial resin printer that had like this sweet 15 by 15 by 15 bed, I mean, I could print huge parts on it when I was in the design shop where I worked before, and the plastic was really brittle, but the resin was super toxic. And when we built that machine, we built a design office around the machine. Nobody had really warned us about any of that. So I spent, almost 6 months modeling in the same room as that machine, it got to the point that that's what helped me get reactionary to the resin. It got to where I had trouble breathing and all kinds of stuff. I didn't think much about it, got into it, and realized that's what it was. So yeah. And yeah, FDM printer resolution is so much better than it was 10 years ago. You can really make some nice things. And right now I am using an Anycubic, an older Mono X is my main jam. And so I just use Anycubic resin. My favorite is the Tough, Super Tough, I think is what it's called. It's got a little bit of flex to it. If you warm it up, it's got a pretty good flex. And a lot of the ABS type that some of the older industrial type printers used is super brittle. And this stuff has a little better resolution and durability. No, right now I don't sell STLs. Right now we are focused on selling the kits already built. But I'm always willing to work out something, especially if somebody just wants a one-off or something to print. This hatch cover, we'll probably make a few of those to have, and then the Hyena that Mikey is building out of his tank, the gunner seat is very specifically designed to be a what do you call it? Red Shadows skull and crossbones instead of the Cobra symbol. So that's another piece. If somebody wanted to tackle a Hyena on their own and turn a Hiss tank into a Hyena, you could definitely doing that. Super addictive, man. Sometimes you gotta get to a point where you pick and choose, and if you haven't checked them out, the Monster Force line is some of the best 112 scale stuff out there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is incredible. It is more expensive than a GI Joe Classified figure, but my God, the options it gives you and the things you can do with it is so much fun. Yeah, I know that is a good printer. I'm kind of hoping that everyone else catches up. We've talked about this several times on our other shows, but we're at that point in the technology where now it's all computers and materials, right? And how the computer can slice the layers. So with FDM, they got comfortable with it, and nobody was really doing anything to improve that layer thing. But as resin printers became way cheaper and easier for the normal person to grab a hold of, FDM had to become more competitive. And now people are selling stuff on Etsy and stuff that are made on FDM that are very nice parts with a good finish. Right out of the box, there's no acetone, steam, or anything like that you got to do to get a smooth finish. They come out pretty nice. Awesome. Mezco stuff's pretty cool, though. I mean, hell yeah. GeForce Racing, you said it about Bamboo Labs, and I was really thinking, just because I'm a glutton for punishment, I'd like to buy one that you buy as a kit and put it together. I get kind of I really like knowing how everything works. And when you build one yourself, you put it together yourself with a kit, then you actually learn that. And then same with the newer, the routers and the laser etchers. I really like the idea of putting it together myself. Yeah, I think that's probably why that is such a popular market. People don't realize just how popular at one time that scale of figure was, the Migos and the Super Joes. I mean, it came about because of the oil crisis, and everybody went from 12-inch to 8-inch figures. But they're fun. They're just customizable enough. They have most of the things you love about the 1/6 scale, as far as like being able to choose your clothing separate of your accessories and all of that. And they all use that razor blades marketing strategy where you buy a figure and then buy packs of accessories with them to make it what you wanted. Rank. Yeah, that new Creality that they just came out with looks really awesome. I'm waiting a little to see how that hype goes. And right now I'm also looking at those new UV ink printers. There's some things it can do that I think might be pretty useful. I don't know. I just like making stuff.
No, for sure. All right. So we'll put a little dry brush on the bumpers and the center caps.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
Match the rest of it. On the winch, I went heavier on the bar and right here because that's where the cable would drag. I didn't do any weathering here because those are usually plastic, so left those alone.
Yeah, I think there's got to be people like that, man. You gotta be for everybody like Mikey or like myself or like some of these other awesome customizers that are on here in this chat tonight. We just kind of can't handle handle just leaving things be. We see something, and same kind of guys that can see a old car in a fence row and be like, man, that would be a sweet ride, which Mikey and I have also done that before.
That's also us.
That is a bit more of a money sink than painting up a Vanguard or a Hiss.
That's true.
It's the same drive though. You see this piece of junk car and you're like, man, I think that would be. I'm that way too, G-Force Racing. Like when mine's running, like I constantly go look at it, even though I can't see anything because this is a Mono X and it's before they had the cameras built into them and stuff. I still check it out. And buy drinks for the guy who has talent. Nothing wrong with that either.
Hell no. That's networking.
Yeah, hookers and blow would definitely be a money sink. And what you end up with afterwards is not near as rewarding as a one-of-a-kind custom toy on your shelf.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, unless you collect blisters and warts and things like that. If you do that, no offense at all, but you know.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. Right.
Yeah, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And it gives you the ability to say, no, I can prove it. I was here.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't cover this, but I put holes here for the CB whips. So
Excellent.
On the edge of the bumper, it'll have two CB whips. And then once I get that hatch, I'll finish the rest of it up. But I wanted to kind of set it together tonight and kind of get the first look of it really all together with the lights and everything. Really happy with it. It's been a while since I've soldered anything, so that was had to dust that off a little bit. Been a minute.
I know that's what they say. I'm not so sure I agree, but so it's okay. To each their own. Machine Man has any thoughts on losing the winch? Seems too low in the design. The only reason you wouldn't lose it in this case is because the homage that it is designed to, homage had a winch really terribly molded into it.
It did. It did. Plus, if you don't put it on, you got to plug holes and kind of a big obvious space there without it.
Yeah. Yeah, G-Force Racing, a few years ago, we had a water leak to the back of the refrigerator. And in the basement under that leak were all of my carded 82, 83 Joes, the OGs. And pretty much lost everything in that. So replacing that was awful. It wasn't just that. I had some pretty rare boxed foreign stuff. And it was awful, though. So yeah, but hey, my insurance company came in good for me. I did all the research on the values and everything, and had to prove some of it. But I think they were just thankful that I was that organized, that I had a list and had eBay listings, sold listings that I could say this is that was my argument, and still is. If people say like, how much is this worth? Like, it's worth what someone will pay for it is obviously the easy answer. But when we're talking about something like that, like you may have a toy that goes anywhere from $45 to somebody paid $225 for it. And if you're looking at a 30-day window in the sold category, you can get a pretty good idea of that. Mikey and I still have, right now, as of today, we still have tons of the 12-inch Joes that we put together and built when he was younger. That was when Blue Box Toys and all those guys were just coming out. 21st Century was hitting the market. There was a plethora of accessories and things you could build, just about anything you wanted. The GI Joe bodies were super durable when they came out with the super articulated version, which is actually a little smaller than 12-inch. But man, it looks good, and it's super. You could do anything with them and not worry about snapping them off. You really had to tear them up to do that.
That's true.
So you could buy a Dragon that basically had a real fragile plastic body that was just made for posing. You'd buy it for all of its gear, and then go to Walmart and pick up a $15 SA Joe and build you a good durable toy. I mean, I do have a 12-inch figure behind me. It's a prototype, but
I've got a handful in front of me. I've got the Action Man stuff.
yeah,
Maybe this year at DFW, maybe I can finally find my my SAS.
So this is going on. This is a Action Assault Trooper, but in 12-inch. And that you may actually get to see a more well-rounded prototype at DFW. But yeah, we would go through what everybody had available and make characters. We gave them the GI Joe code names and made something close. Some of them really looked exactly like the figures. Like the Dusty we made was still pretty. Yeah, the DFW it's actually kind of in DFW, but in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I believe that hotel is pretty close to the airport. Where the hotel has been in the past is pretty close to the airport. You actually drive by the airport to get to it. If you're coming from the east.
This new one's like 6 minutes or something. I mean, it's like crazy.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that the airport like pimps for you to stay at.
Yeah,
and it's nice because there'll be shuttles and everything available for anybody staying there. Then I will tell you that the show price for the rooms is an incredible bargain for those rooms.
Yes.
Mikey and I are heavily invested in this show this year, so
we are.
I think it's not really a toy fair. It is a long-standing GI Joe convention that really got its roots in 12-inch Joes. There's a 12-inch collectors club there that has been putting it on for years, and the last couple of years it's just slowly ramped up to including more things. So this year there will be a lot more choices. Every year that we've been, it gets bigger and bigger, big enough that we outgrew the convention center that it was in. So this year we have a lot of room. So GI Joe and GI Joe adjacent brands are welcome. Last year, the guys that are making the new Super Joe stuff, I believe they'll be there again this year. So there's all scales. You might even dig around a box and find a Sigma 6 figure.
Well, hopefully not, but maybe.
Probably not. But the point is, like, all 6 scales are welcome, and there are people there that also do. There is a couple there that sells like craft type stuff. They really hit the nail on the head. They kind of do a mix of GI Joe stuff, and then they also have things. So if you're there with more than just you're dragging the wife or one of the daughter along, there is stuff there for them to get into. There's usually quite a bit of Star Wars vintage stuff. Obviously, most vendors that sell GI Joe also sell Star Wars. And then this year there will be a entire group of original Hasbro designers there. Kirk Bozigan will be there, who was the marketing director for the GI Joe brand, if you don't know that. I always forget that not everybody knows who these people are. But Dave Kunitz is who Mikey and I are sponsoring for this show. Dave was the head model for Thrasher and Ozone of the old 3 3/4 line. He designed the Starfighter, which was what did they call it when it was a Cobra? The Stiletto. He designed the Stiletto. Stellar Stiletto. Last year, there were a couple of people that had some Mezco stuff. Not a lot, but I honestly think that as the show grows and people, you'll have vendors that are going to come in and they're going to test on what market that is, so they'll have a more wide variety of what they're selling. So there could be a lot more of that this year. Last year, it really was feeling very crowded, and it felt like there's definitely room to grow. And but there's going to be a ton of Hasbro people there. If you go, and we talk about this on every show, but if you go and you're willing to drop the money for a commander's package, you get access to some great workshops. A lot of fun. Mikey and I are having one of the workshops where we're going to build the Spaceman figure that we have on the what we talk about every week on the Couple of Kooks show. That is a 1/12 scale astronaut type figure. And we have a workshop for that. All of the Hasbro designers that are there will have a workshop where you will build a custom vehicle based on the parts that they have available. So there'll be some vacuum formed shells. The idea is to show you how they built this stuff in the 80s when they were building a prototype out of styrene and wood and just regular pieces that they had. We did that last year. Mikey and I had a blast, and we were like, hey, we want to be part of this because that was a lot of fun. So this year we're doing that again. This year we won't be building the toy, but we will be helping the designers so they can have a lot more one-on-one time with the people that pay for that package. It does seem expensive. The commander package, I believe, is $100. Our workshop is $50, but you get like this full kit of parts. Some of them have already been designed. If you guys do watch our other shows, you've already seen this figure, but this is the start of it. Got him a fancy space gun. He'll have boots and gauntlets, belt, backpack. It'll be the kit alone will be worth the $50 price. If you don't have a classified Destro, we will have a few on hand that we could sell you. Obviously not for crazy retail prices the Destros are getting now, but we are trying to set it up to where you'll walk out of there with a pretty cool figure to put on your shelf, or if you choose to make some custom changes to. So there are a few workshops, there are a few other things going on, and that is just part of the fun of that show. There are several panels, and on the 29th of this month, is that right, Mikey? The 29th, Thursday the 29th, on Figure It Out.
29th, yeah, that's right. 29th. Yeah, 29th.
Mikey and Zakanin show Figure It Out. We have a full house that night. I'm going to be on there with Dan Klingensmith, who writes the puts together the Creating GI Joe book series, which is amazing. We talked about that the other day. It is a series of books that goes through the creative process of the GI Joe line. Some of the later figures are a lot simpler. He has pictures of the like resin bucks that they use to paint masters, original sketches. That's especially cool if you like the older stuff, the 82 to 85 stuff, because there are a lot more of those designs and pre-sketches and all that for that stuff. But the books are just awesome. Dan is also one of the major sponsors of this show. And we will be on there with Dan Klingensmith and Greg Brown, the owner of Cotswold Collectibles, who is the guy that puts this show together. And we'll be talking about DFW, all the things there's going to be to do, the things that we have planned for that show. So it'll be a really good episode to pay attention to. Figure It Out is if anybody doesn't watch that, it's a very lighthearted, fun show where the guys have a guest and they'll pick something just to talk about that night, pop culture related. And they do have some action figure content where they open a figure that's already in a box. Everybody's kind of been encouraged to do that. Anytime I'm on there, I like to open something that makes Zakanin cringe that I'm actually going to open it. That's more fun for me. And then they do a little segment called From the Collection, where they bring up something that has like a sentimental value to it. It doesn't have to be a toy. It could be, it could be a picture or a record or something from your life that actually has meaning to you. And then they get into the meat of the episode, which is whatever they're talking about. And on the 29th, we will be exclusively talking about the Dallas-Fort Worth GI Joe show.
Yes.
So, yeah, just it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I've been on that show a couple of times. I always have a good time. Watch it every week. Thursdays at 9 p.m. Central Time. That show is on. This show is every Wednesday at 6:30 Central. And we do the Couple of Kooks broadcast, Mikey and I do. We do that every other Sunday. This last few shows, we have been kind of every show we are blasting through the Spaceman, the components of it, putting it together. So this show showcases the work that Mikey does, and then a Couple of Kooks kind of showcases more of the modeling and the stuff like that I do. Makes it nice, and if you want to see stuff happening, that show I try to do a little how I got the model made, the process of using 3D printing, modeling, and I do that in Onshape, the program I just showed a few minutes ago, and I also use Blender for a lot of things, and I encourage people to grab Blender. If you're wanting to learn 3D modeling, there's tons of stuff out there to learn how to use Blender, and it's free. It's free and it's open source, so it updates. And Blender isn't just a sculpting program. You can do everything from make a part in 3D to actually building an entire city and making a movie or animated feature with it. So it's pretty cool. "3D Builder is good. I mean, it's good for what it is. Thank you, Stu. It is a relationship that started with X-Men cartoons and then turned into a lifelong GI Joe team. I played with them when Mikey was little. And then Mikey grew up and he didn't need that shit anymore, so he went and did his own thing. And then I sucked him back in by taking him to a couple of conventions and reminded him how cool GI Joes were. And then 5 years later, Mikey has his own channel on YouTube and customizes the shit out of GI Joe Classified. Super proud of this kid. and I love doing stuff with him. And doing this show felt like something we kind of prepared for our whole lives. So that's pretty cool. That's one of the nice things about 3D Builder, right? You can do that. Well, I mean, that's crazy you say that, and you just admitted that you chop up other people's models to make what you want. I believe that there is talent in that, whether people want to admit it or not. And people that say they have zero talent at all make some pretty nice 3D models, not super complicated, but really nicely built. I just spent a lot of years. I've been using AutoCAD. When I went to school, CAD was still on paper. So when AutoCAD first came out, I was one of the first people to jump on it, and that was back when you had to type in the key commands to do everything.
Which sucks.
Sucks. Then they came out with the mouse on a board that had all of the things on it, like all of the, like, hey, you want to draw a square, you want to draw a circle, so you take the mouse, slide up there, and click that, and that would enter the command to do that operation. And to know that's where it started, and to see what it's capable, what CAD is capable of now, is totally awesome. Just raided my dad's Playboy collection. We never bonded over. That's sad. You guys missed out on that.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Thank you, Tristan. Appreciate it.
Are you familiar with this one?
Oh yeah, the Intruder book. Yeah, that's cool. Did you get that this weekend?
Yeah, half price. I picked it up Monday. I bought it Monday.
Which is ironic because I'm pretty sure on the market you can get A6 Intruders for about half of what the value was.
It's pretty cool. I obviously haven't read it yet, but there's some really awesome panels.
Who drew that book?
Bill Reinhold.
Okay.
It's good. I mean, like technically, like that's a legit Uzi. I always enjoy when the weapons are legitimate.
Oh, you too. That's why I love the Punisher Armory books.
Yes. Yeah,
really,
Jim Lee does
really
it well.
Went into great detail on the weapons and how they looked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jim Lee really nails it. Yeah, this one's cool. There's the Intruder. Steals it.
Yes, he does.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Be a cool Punisher custom right there.
Oh yeah.
So I got this for half price, so it was $750. Pretty legit.
Jacob, you have a good evening. Thank you so much for supporting the
Appreciate
channel
it,
and being here. We do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was one of my pickups this week. I got several other books from him, but I figure I'll go over those tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I've been getting some pretty good books. I got some from Johnny on Saturday, and then I went to the other comic shop on Monday, which John's not open on Monday anyway, but for one specific book that I saw on comic book day, and I almost bought it, and I didn't. And then Quentin was telling us about it. That exact book. He was telling us about how cool it was, and I was like, damn it, that's that book. That was that book that I almost got, but I was like, what if it's terrible? Should have trusted my gut. Anyway.
You did pick it up then?
I bought it.
It's a good time if you do like comics. This is a really good time to try to sneak in and grab some of those older issues. 15 years ago, those books were $50 a piece, and now you can get them for 10 to 20.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. This the other shop, Bebop, is the other shop, and they're in that Zona Rosa area.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're on the other side of the highway, but where Hobby Lobby is. Anyway, I've been in there probably 3 or 4 times since I've lived here, and he has a big rack of trade paperbacks that's all half price, and there's all kinds of shit. So I grabbed 2 out of that pile.
Cool.
That was one of them. So I'm like, now I'm to the point where I just want to get like all the Punisher books eventually. I just want to build the library now.
Right.
And I saw that one. I was like, I have never seen this. Like the other ones, like I'd seen in your collection when I was a kid, and was familiar with the cover art. But that one, I've never seen that book before ever. And the fact that it's a hardback, like hell yeah. I'll take a hardback any day. Hell yeah. And then I was even looking at comics on freaking Amazon. Just like, because I know they'll list them. I'm not necessarily going to buy them from them, but yeah, now they have a Thunderbolts Red omnibus. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know they had one.
Whole omnibus.
Yeah, I really would like to have that, just so they're all in one book.
Right? I mean, I think it's definitely gonna be cheaper and easier just to get the 5 volumes, and I would rather read 5 volumes than a 360-page omnibus. But damn, that omnibus is cool.
It is. The thing about that book is, for as short as the run was, so many of the covers are just really great. The eclectic mix of those characters makes that, I think, and then tying them all together with the red theme really kind of makes that cool.
Well, and then the other characters that sub in, like you've got your core character, your core team, you know, Elektra, Deadpool, Punisher, Agent Venom, and Red Hulk. You got your core team, but then you've got the other ones that join in for a little, you know, that are there for a handful of issues. You know, you got Ghost Rider that's a part of it. You got the leader's a part of it. You know.
But, yeah, the Ghost Rider issue where they kind of give him a hard time because he doesn't match the aesthetic, so he changes his flame to red.
It's a red flame, yeah. Yeah, that's freaking cool, man. So I'm slowly building up to owning all of them, because there's 32 issues, I think. 32 solo issues, I think, is what it is. So I think I own 4 or 5 of them now. Just like when I'm seeing them, I'm just picking them up because they're like $3 at the most.
Yeah,
they're not expensive, but really to read them, I would rather read a graphic or a trade paperback anyway. You know. So, but
yeah, those Ennis books are a little more pricey than the older stuff.
Yeah, they are. I want to say Johnny had a couple of those, because I'm familiar with the books, but not the. I'm familiar with Enos's runs, but I'm not familiar with the trades, so like the titles of them don't mean anything to me. Like,
yeah. What's next? Are you pretty much winding down now, or?
Yeah, I think so, because the next thing is going to be taping off, and that's going to take some time.
Doing all the purple?
Yeah, to do the purple. Could do.
Thank you, Stu. Appreciate you being here, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the villains draft will be sick.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow night. I have a feeling this one's going to have some overlap.
I think so too.
Yeah. I gotta pick a direction, because I've got several different team ups, and you know, like lots of stuff. And then I'm really trying not to do stuff that's been done. Like, yeah, they did that in whatever story. Like, I'm really trying to avoid that. We were joking in our chat. We were talking about Zakanin wanting to win because he got robbed last week. He keeps telling himself that. And I told him,
that's pretty common in any voting situation these days. If you don't win, you just say that you got robbed.
That's true. Yeah. So I told him I was just not going to put
stolen. Okay.
I told him I wasn't going to put any effort into it, and I was just going to let him have the victory. But he wouldn't have earned it, just because I just folded. Yeah, Apocalypse is pretty. That was one of the avenues I thought was just like, well, we'll just do Apocalypse and I'll just choose like 4 really evil horsemen. Like, that would be cool, It's pretty low hanging fruit, but it's always good. Like,
it is.
Doesn't matter if it's Archangel, Gambit, Wolverine. Like, you always pick somebody they're like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
I even thought I didn't want to steal Johnny. I was telling Johnny about our theme for this week, and he told me what his idea was. He's like, oh, it's something I've actually thought about. Johnny's he is a comic book guy. Like, he's got his own lines and stuff. And he was like, oh, I'd like to do this, and I was like, damn. I was like, that would be cool. And I was like, don't do it. Don't steal his idea. Don't steal his idea. There are a few times I was drafting teams together, and I was like, oh, man, that would be so cool. No, don't do it. Don't do it. He's an awesome villain. He's a great villain.
It's not really cheating, because when you think about Marvel villains, you're going all the way up to Galactus. You're going all the way from the Hood to Galactus.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out a way that you would take a Omega level character and have a reason to put them with a street thief or, a street level villain that you just really think looks cool.
Right.
I doubt any of you picked Tarantula as one of your villains. Even though his aesthetic is really cool and his costume looks really cool, like, no.
Stupid.
No, we're not going to be probably one of the top 5. I say that, and then Zakanin will pick him.
You watch it. Tarantula, Stiltman,
Prowler.
Prowler does look really cool.
He does.
Any of the Serpent Society, the Wrecking Crew, like, there's just your throw around guys, Just.
I have not played Crisis Protocol.
What was that? Yeah, I even thought about just doing another Thunderbolts team, and I was like, well, it just feels like just bandwagoning. It's just like, oh, let's just do this. Trying to get out of the comfort zone a little bit, a little off the wall, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I have seen it. I've seen it at comic book stores and stuff like that. I just don't play. That is cool that it has models in it, though.
Oh, that's what that's called.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's what it's called. At the store Mikey's talking about, they have a lot of those miniatures, right? The Star Wars game and the Marvel game.
Yeah, the Star Wars one's Shatterpoint, I think.
Yeah, those. Yeah. The detail on those are incredible. Those are great models.
Insane. Yeah, he's got all that stuff in there. Like, he's got the D&D stuff, he's got the Warhammer stuff, the Marvel stuff, the Star Wars stuff. He's got all that stuff. I like looking at it, but I know that's not something I need to.
Yeah, it's one of those that'll become a rabbit hole. $25 here, $25 there. Then, oh, that set has the one character I want, so I'm going to have to buy the whole set.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm at the point of collecting where I'm purging so many things that it's just like getting into something new just kind of scares me.
Yeah, it's daunting, scary. Try not to do that. Crazy.
Plus, I like making my own toys.
Well, yeah. There's something to that, no doubt. But anyway, I guess we'll wrap it off. We did go about an hour past what we normally do. So
thanks everybody. Appreciate everybody
chat
being
is
here.
over on 3POA if you guys want to go over there and check that out.
Definitely.
So, anywho, guys, be sure to check out Figure It Out tomorrow night. Me and Zakanan on Zakanan's channel. We'll have Quentin Bedwell on again to do the villains draft.
Thank you. You too, man. I appreciate all the interaction tonight. It was great.
Yeah, Ben, thank you. Dallas, what's up, buddy? You guys have a good night. We'll see you on the next one. And I guess until I see you again, you have a good one, all right?
See you guys.